All I'm gonna say is I'm black, not POC. We are not the same. Don't ever put us in the same. We are not. I'm black. I'm black.
And I couldn't agree more. Look, shouts out everybody of every race. But we're not the same. We really are. I am not Asian. I am not Arab. I am not Northern. I'm none of these things. I am black of Caribbean and African descent. That's it. See, when it comes to fighting for other people's causes, nobody does it more than African Americans. African Americans are willing to put themselves on the line for so many different other people. We've seen it. We've seen African Americans march in the streets for causes that aren't their own and have almost nothing to do with them. And in this election, African Americans thought, well, we put ourselves on the line for you guys. Hopefully during this election, you can help us. But they found out what a lot of black people around the world already know. They are not like you. Not only are they not like you, they don't like you as much as you think. You see, we as humans are naturally tribal. And there's nothing wrong with that. The Arabs are going to do what's best for them. The Asians are going to do what's best for them. The Latin community is going to do what's best for them. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what African Americans are finding out is that what's best for them is closer to what's best for white people than what's best for black people. And it's got to the point where now African Americans are done. They're saying, you know what, that boycott, no, we're done with that. We're going back to Starbucks.
Trump. But do not give a vote to Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by my community.
And these people who claimed to be on your side are now showing that what you guys wanted wasn't really that important.
Now that that's over, can we start focusing on the more fucking important shit here? Because
is she okay?
I know she ain't talking about us.
She ain't talking about us.
Now look, one thing I've noticed about America, from the outside looking in, America is so big and so influential that I feel like once you live under America, it's difficult to look out and see what's going on outside because you're so consumed by the continent that is America. And when it comes to African Americans, they live on the basis of their history, right? In their history, they are only in America because of what white people did. And the white people in America have a history of doing bad things to everyone. They have a history of doing bad things to every other minority. And they're looking like, oh yeah, so white people done bad things to you. White people done bad things to you. White people done bad things to us. We must all be friends. No.
I don't want to hear about people of color because all these other groups within the rainbow, stay with me, can't stand black people any more than white folks. So one of the biggest mistakes we've made in the post-civil rights era was allowing this government to redefine us as people of color. We are not people of color. We are the American Africans, the descendants of those who were kidnapped, brought here, and forced to work for free.
Let me give you a breakdown on why if you as a black person were to go to these people of color's region, right, where they are actually from, why you'd be treated as a second-class citizen. Let's start with the Arabs. The Middle East is the most racist region in the world. It's not even close, okay? Firstly, the trans-Saharan slave trade. If you don't know what it is, Google it. It's the longest slave trade documented in human history. Arabs enslaved East Africans for 1,300 years. The transatlantic slave trade was about 400. Add 1,000. That's how long Arabs enslaved Africans. They still have African slaves in the Middle East to this day. And they don't care. Nobody talks about it. It's just normal. It's just something that happens over there.
For a year she worked in Lebanon, a dream that quickly turned into a nightmare of abuse. Now safely back home in Sierra Leone, she's warning other women not to go.
85% of the people that live in my country have their daily bread from their family members that work abroad. That is one of my dreams. I want to work abroad, I want to work abroad. But I found out that there is a difference of working in the Middle East and working in some of the other countries.
Domestic maids are largely at the mercy of their employers. And human rights groups say Lebanon's economic collapse and COVID-19 has made a bad situation even worse.
The Latino community are descendants of the Spanish, who are some of the most racist people in the world. So it's no coincidence why the Latin community has so much anti-blackness in it. It's not a coincidence. The colorism in South Asia is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Why? Because the Arabs sold slaves, black slaves, to the South Asians during the trans-Saharan slave trade. So that air of superiority has been passed down from generation to generation.
Colorism is such an insane and prevalent issue in the South Asian community. This is something that literally is such a touchy topic, as I grew up as such a light kid. Like, I had the whitest skin ever in my entire family. Only thing that I ever heard coming out of my family members, my relatives, distant relatives' mouths were like, oh my god, inni kali hogi hai, andar aaya kar. Basically translating to, you got so dark, you should start staying inside more so that you don't get tan. My sister was darker than me growing up, and she literally was treated worse than me just because of her skin color. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to think I was the prettiest girl ever growing up because I was white. Then as soon as I turned a brown color, I felt so ugly.
East Asia was colonized by the West. Now you have East Asians throwing black people in washing machines so they can come out white. They love their whiteness. Pro-white cream. White is right in East Asia. On the global stage, we are not allies. We are not. And even in America, that illusion has now been broken. Because when it comes down to it, people will always do what's best for them and their communities. And I think now it's time for not only African Americans, but black people all over the world to do the same.
Baby, you do something to me. I can't lie, you got me. Baby, you do something to me. I can't lie, you got me. You're the one I want, you're the one I see, the one that's gonna be right beside of me. You're the one I want.